G'day guys, welcome to Tennis Direct. Today we're going to talk through the Vcore range. So the Vcore range, sort of known as the middle in the Yonex range. E-zone, very power centric, Percept, very control centric. So Vcore, sort of that nice middle ground. We'll start off with the light versions. So we've got the 98L and 100L. Key differences between these: 98L, 98 square inch frame, 100L, 100 square inch frame, and then the 98L is 285 gram, 100L is 280 gram. So differences between these: 98L is probably going to give you a touch more control than the 100, but both of these being light rackets, a lot of accessibility to free power while having good control. So if you're looking to just move up in weight a little bit, if you're using like a 260 gram, a 270 gram racket, these could be a nice change for you, a nice little upgrade, providing a little bit more stability than lighter rackets on the market these days. Then we'll move on to Vcore's two best-selling rackets. So we've got the 98 and the 100. Key difference here: 98 square inch frame, 100 square inch frame, just like the two previously mentioned. The 98 is 305 gram, the 100 300 gram. Key differences here again: with the smaller frame on the 98, you get a little bit more control than the 100. But what is a really good thing about these two rackets is they really do fill that gap in the Yonex range. So sometimes for some players, the Percept can be too low powered, too control centric. The E-zone can be a little bit too high powered. What these rackets both do really well, fill that middle gap in, both with that 16-19 string pattern, very well balanced, good control, good power, really nice mix of everything that you need in a good quality racket these days. And then we'll move on to the plus versions in the Vcore range. So 98 plus, 100 plus. I probably don't need to tell you the difference again, but the 98 is 98 square inches, 100 is 100 square inches, both same weights as the previously mentioned rackets, 305 gram for the 98 plus, 300 gram for the 100 plus. These rackets, being that ½ inch longer, are going to give you a little bit more access to free power than some of the rackets on the market these days. So if you like to hit a heavy ball, or if you feel like you need some help to hit a heavier ball, these could be great options for you. The 98 plus is going to give you a bit more control than the 100 plus, but very good rackets. Overall, good access to everything that you need in a racket. And then we'll move on to the Vcore 95. So this is probably the biggest different racket in the Vcore range, 95 square inches, which is pretty small by today's standards. So if you're someone who doesn't necessarily find the center of the racket all the time, I'm one of those. You need to be a very good player for the racket like this, but if you are, it could be one for you. 310 grams, so a little bit heavier than the ones mentioned before, but this one also has a 16-20 string pattern. So the issue with a smaller head size is that sometimes you can lose access to spin. What this one does with that 16-20, having more of a cross pattern, it allows you to get more rip on the ball, which is great for players who like to play with heavy spin, but also like to hit a flatter ball. Because if you're playing with the 95 square inch frame like this, you're generally going to hit a flatter ball, but you still get good access to spin with this regardless. So that's the full Vcore range. Hopefully that helps.